This is educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardinis, to use this as educational material.
Global Media Cultures.
Before we tackle our topic, we must first set our objectives. By the end of this video, you are expected to learn the following. First is trace the history of global media and culture. Second is analyze media's impact on global integration and cultural dynamics. Third is evaluate media's role in globalization. Fourth is assess the pros and cons of media globalization. Fifth is explore the necessity of media for globalization. And last is debate if media globalization is cultural imperialism.
History of global media and culture.
The development of media played a pivotal role in globalization. It has evolved to distinct stages, each contributed to the interconnectedness of cultures and economies around the world. Historically, media underwent 5 stages of development from the earliest forms to the complex one. These stages affect globalization progressively. So, the first stage of media is oral communication. Language as a tool. In early human societies, language functioned predominantly through oral communication. People used spoken words to interact, express ideas, negotiate, and convey emotions. Oral communication was the first media through which language operated as a tool. It allowed individuals to engage in dialogue, share stories, give instructions, and transmit cultural values. Since there were no written records or digital communications at the time, language as a tool for social interaction and cooperation was entirely dependent on the spoken word. Early trade networks. Early trade networks relied heavily on oral communication to function effectively. Traders and merchants used spoken language to negotiate prices, establish trade agreements, and build trust with partners across different regions. Oral communication was essential for exchanging information about products, market demands, and trade routes. Additionally, in the absence of written contracts, oral agreements and promises were the primary means of conducting businesses. Therefore, oral communication was the medium through which trade networks were established and maintained. Knowledge transmission. Knowledge transmission in ancient times was predominantly oral. Before the invention of writing systems, all knowledge, whether it was practical skills, cultural traditions, religious beliefs, or historical events, was passed down verbally from one generation to the next. This transmission occurred through storytelling, teachings, songs, and oral traditions. Oral communication was the only medium available to ensure that essential knowledge was preserved and shared within communities. Even after the development of writing, oral communication remained a powerful means of knowledge transmission, especially in cultures with strong oral traditions. The next stage is the invention of script. The invention of writing system revolutionized communication by allowing for the permanent recording and transmission of knowledge across vast distances and time periods. Overcoming distance. Before the invention of script, communication over long distances was limited to oral messages delivered in person or by messengers. This method was slow, unreliable, and subject to distortion. The invention of script enabled people to overcome these limitations by allowing them to write letters, instructions, and messages that could be sent over vast distances. Written communication could be accurately reproduced and delivered without the need for a messenger to memorize and relay the content. Codification of practices. The invention of script allowed societies to codify these practices into written records, creating a permanent and authoritative reference that could be consulted, taught and enforced consistently across time and space. This was crucial for establishing legal systems, religious doctrines, and social norms that were uniform and stable within a community or civilization. Knowledge preservation. In oral cultures, the preservation of knowledge relied heavily on memory, which made it vulnerable to loss, distortion, or their disappearance over generations. The invention of script provided a means to record knowledge in a durable, physical form that could be preserved and transmitted across time without relying on human memory alone. Writing enabled the documentation of history, scientific discoveries, literary works, religious texts, and technical knowledge, ensuring that this information could be stored, retrieved, and studied by future generations. Script thus become a powerful tool for preserving and accumulated knowledge of society, contributing to the development of complex civilizations. Next stage is the printing press. The introduction of the printing press allowed the continuous production, reproduction, and circulation of print materials. Written documents were mass-produced, which gave everyone access to information that was available only to the rich, powerful, and religious. This period of media development affected the globalization by transforming various institutions such as schools, markets, businesses, churches, governments, and armies. The fourth stage is electronic media. As characterized by its use of electricity, electronic media includes the telegraph, telephone, radio, film, and television. The wide reach of this media continues to open up new perspectives in the economic, political, and cultural processes of globalization. Radio was the avenue for global products to be advertised like Marlboro and Coca-Cola television. The analog type was primarily used so countries could watch U.S. President's delivery of speeches and UN Security Council meetings. Both radio and television became mediums to observe international events. The last stage is the digital media. Digital media relies on digital codes. It can be created, modified, and stored in any digital electronic device. Digitalized content is transmitted over the internet and computer networks. In politics, candidates use this media to campaign and advance their platforms. In economics, it allows the advertisement of products and online business transactions.
Analyze how various media drive various forms of global integration. Media plays a crucial role in driving various forms of global integration, especially in relation to cultures. Here's an analysis of how different types of media contribute to this integration. Example of analysis: television and film, cultural exchange. TV shows and films from one country can be broadcast globally, exposing audience to different cultures, traditions, and values. For example, the global popularity of Hollywood films or Korean dramas or K-dramas foster a broader understanding and appreciation of diverse cultures. Cultural homogenizations cover easily dominant media industries can overshadow local cultures, leading to a form of cultural homogenizations where local traditions may be diluted in favor of global trends. Internet and social media. Instant communication platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram enable real-time sharing of cultural events, trends, and ideas. This rapid communication helps cultures to influence and blend each other more fluidly. Cultural hybridizations. Social media facilities the mixing of cultural elements, leading to new forms of cultural expression and practices. For instance, global memes often incorporated diverse cultural references. Third analysis: music and podcast. Global reach. Music streaming services and podcasts allow for the easy sharing of musical genres and styles across borders. Artists from different countries collaborate, influencing each other and creating cross-cultural musical experiences. Cultural appreciation of music. Exposure to diverse musical styles encourages cultural appreciation cultural narratives, video games and online platforms often incorporated diverse cultural narratives and settings, which can introduce players to different cultural perspectives and histories. Collaborative development. International collaboration in the development of digital content foster a blending of cultural elements, influencing gaming cultures and experiences worldwide.
The interplay of local and global cultural production.
So, explain the dynamic between local and global cultural production. So, the dynamic between local and global cultural production is marked by a complex interplay of influences, exchanges, and tension that continually reshape cultures across the world. Globalization has facilitated the widespread circulation of cultural products like film, music, fashion, and arts, leading to their consumption, the adoption by diverse local cultures. This process often results in cultural harmonization, where dominant global cultures, particularly from the West, influences and sometimes overshadow local traditions, raising concerns about the erosion of cultural diversity, recognized yet distinctly local phenomenon. This adoption reflects a broader trend of cultural hybridization, where global and local elements merge to produce new cultural forms. At the same time, local cultures resist global influences to preserve their unique identity, often reviving traditions, practices, and emphasizing cultural heritage as a form of resistance. The dynamic also highlights the unequal power relation inherent in global cultural exchanges, where more dominant cultures can marginalize or commodify local ones, leading to issues like cultural appropriation and exploitation. Despite this challenge, the rise of digital platform has provided local creators with opportunities to share their work with global audiences, enabling cross-cultural dialogue and innovation. However, this technological shift also introduces the risk of cultural fragmentation, where the many cultures thrive in isolation rather than contributing to a shared global culture. Economically, local cultural production plays a significant role in supporting local economies, especially in sectors like tourism and entertainment.
The role of media globalization.
Media globalization plays a significant role in facilitating the exchange of cultural content, influencing the global economies and shaping political landscapes. It allows for the spread of ideas and information across borders, impacting everything from consumer behavior to political opinions and cultural norms. Media globalization and cultural content. Media globalization and cultural content refers to the worldwide dissemination and exchange of media, which facilitates cultural hybridization, interaction, but also raising concerns about cultural homogenization and the dominance of Western media. Media globalization and global economies. In global economies, media globalization drives economic growth by opening new markets for content creators and advertisers. It enables multinational companies to reach wider audience and standardize advertising strategies. Additionally, it fosters competition and innovation in media industries, contributing to economic development in various regions. Media globalization and political landscape. Media globalization has profoundly reshaped the political landscape, offering both opportunities and challenges. It has democratized information, empowered its citizens, and fostered global connectivity, but it has also brought about new forms of control, conflict, and cultural tensions. The interplay between global media and political continues to evolve, influencing how power is exercised and contested in the modern world.
The pros of media globalization. First is the access to information. Media globalization allows people around the world to access wide-range information instantly, whether it's a global news, educational contents, or entertainment. People can stay informed and connected, regardless for their location. This increase helps bridge knowledge gaps, empowers individuals with the information they need to make informed decisions. Next is the cultural exchange. Through the global media, people can learn about the different cultures, traditions, and viewpoints. This exchange fosters greater understanding, tolerance, helping to break down the cultural barriers. For instance, films, music, TV shows from different countries that introduce the audience to new ideas and ways of life, enriching their cultural perspective. Next is the economic opportunities. The media globalization opens up a new market for businesses, enabling them to reach international audience. This can lead to increase the revenue, job creation, and economic growth of our country. For example, a media company in our country can distribute its content worldwide, tapping into new consumer bases and generating global brand recognition. Next is the advancement of technology. The technology demand for high quality media contents has driven rapidly advancement in technology, such as streaming platforms, high-definition video, and digital media tools. These innovations have improved the quality of media, made it more accessible, allowing people to enjoy the content in new and engaging ways. Last, the social awareness of advocacy. Global media can shine a spotlight on important social issues such as human rights, environmental concerns, and equality by raising awareness on a global scale. Media mobilize international supports and drive collective action. For example, our global news coverage of humanitarian cases can prompt international aid and policy changes.
Give the cons of media globalization. Media globalization, the process by which media content and platform becomes accessible on global scales, has several potential drawbacks. The first cons of media globalization. Cultural homogenization. Media globalization often leads to the dominance of Western, particularly American culture, eroding local cultures, traditions, and language. As global media companies distributed content worldwide, local media may struggle to compete, leading as a loss of cultural diversity. The second one, economic disparities. Global media conglomerates, often based on wealthy countries, can dominate smaller local media outlets. This can lead economic imbalance where profits from global media consumption flow back to the dominant countries while local industries suffer. Third one, censorship and control. In some cases, media globalization can lead to increased control over information. Global media companies or power nations might influence what content accessible globally, some suppressing or alternating into their centuries. The fourth one, overload of information. With access to media from overall the world, there is risk information overload. People may find out difficult to discern quality information from vast amount of the content available, leading to the misinformation and confusion. The fifth one, concentration of media ownership. Global media is often controlled by a few large corporations, which can lead to a concentration of power. This can reduce diversity, of perspective and limit the range of viewpoints available to the public. The last one or the sixth one. Digital divide. While media globalization increased access to information, it also exacerbates digital divide. People in poorer regions may not have necessary infrastructure to access global media, widening the gap between those who can participate in the global media environment and those who cannot.
So the question is there globalization without media? So for me, globalization without media is virtually impossible in the modern context. Media is a crucial enabler of globalization because it facilitates the rapid enhance of information, ideas, and culture across borders. Here's why media is so integral to globalization. So first is communication. Media platforms such as television, the internet, and social media enable with people to communicate instantly across the globe, making it easier for culture, economies, and political ideas to intermingle. So the second is cultural enhance. Media plays a significant role in spreading cultural products such as movies, music, and fashion from one part of the world to another, which is a key aspect of cultural globalization. So the third is economic integration. Media supports the global economy by promoting products, services, and businesses internationally. It is also global markets inform about development in real time, influencing economic decisions. So lastly is a political awareness and movements. The global reach of media allows political ideas and movements to spread beyond national borders, contributing to the development of global political dynamics.
Is media globalization a form of cultural imperialism? Media globalization refers to the worldwide distribution and consumption of media products, including news, entertainment, and cultural content, facilitated by advancement in technology and communication. This process has raised concerns about cultural imperialism, a concept where dominant cultures, often from Western nations, impose their values, beliefs, and lifestyles on less powerful cultures. Proponents of the view that media globalization is a form of cultural imperialism argue that the overwhelming presence of Western media content in global markets can erode local cultures. For instance, Hollywood movies, American television shows, and Western music often dominate media landscape worldwide, leading to the homogenization of cultural expressions. This dominance can marginalize local traditions, language, and values, replacing them with Western ideals such as individualism, consumerism, and particular notion of modernity. Moreover, global media corporations, primarily headquartered in the West, wield significant power over the content that reaches international audiences. This control allows them to shape global narratives, influencing how people perceive different cultures, histories, and social issues.